Hi, Dr. Deela. We're doing this after a long time, and I'm so happy to be here.
It's so nice to be on. It's so nice to be on with you. And it's so nice to be talking about body whispering and our final class of the year, which I don't know how we got here already.
It's just so weird. Like, I was just thinking to myself yesterday that it's literally the end of this year, just less than a month for us to finish. And what a phenomenally interesting and crazy year it's been. Like, especially with people choosing so many different things with their bodies and things that people are going through with their bodies. So, you know what? I just want to start at the deep end already. Like, what's this year been like for you, Adila? And especially with regards to bodies, you work with people all across the world and you get to meet so many people and you see everything that's going on with their bodies. So what do you have to say about everything that's going on with bodies this year?
I will be very honest, and I shared this about a month ago on my social media, where I actually said, this has been the hardest year of my life. And it's not very often that you can say that so definitively. And there was a lot of good and a lot of amazing stuff still. But to be honest, all of the highlights kind of got overshadowed by the ongoing heaviness that just kind of kept on coming, and it happened in waves. And obviously, because of the nature of my business, as you say, I work with bodies. I'm very aware and very psychic and pick up on things. And then thirdly, I have a global business. So in May, when India was going through this, the huge effects of Delta, and a lot of our team were affected, a lot of their family, friends, there was a lot of loss, a lot of death, a lot of illness. That affected me at a personal level, obviously, and also affected my business. And then while India came back and the rest of the world started coming back and moving on around September, and here I am in New Zealand, and this is when we got it. And so in August in New Zealand, I went back into lockdown, into what we call a level 4 lockdown. And we've literally, today's meant to be Freedom Day in New Zealand, because depending on your definition of freedom, they've opened up like hospitality again for the first time since the 17th of August. And so that's kind of like the practical point of view about what happened at an energetic level, at an emotional level, at a physical and physiological level. There's been so much stress, so much loss, so much grief, so much pain that's been many people's and shared collectively. And also something that I've really been dealing with, and I'm sorry to kind of get, deep and heavy on you in the first 5 minutes, but I think also collectively there's quite a few of us who are really, feeling a sense of, I'm going to use the word responsibility, or really wondering what's going to happen in the future for everyone, and where are we headed as a planet, as a population, as individuals, but also as the collective. And the sense of responsibility that comes when you are doing healing work, when you're doing facilitation work, when your work is centered around people, and people are really struggling, people are really hurting, people are dealing with the mental and physical effects of not just the pandemic, but all of the side effects, social, mental, financial, that go along with that. And our children that have lived a life that's been really abnormal for 2 years. So, I have clients with children who are 2 years old or 4 years old, but what they think is normal life is really abnormal for us. And we're seeing children also have really different responses to seeing strangers, which are actually their friends and family members, or going out to public places for the first time and being really scared of interaction. Anxiety levels are at the highest they've ever been, stress levels are really high, and uncertainty around the future is also really high. So that's why I say it's been tough, because I'm someone who feels a lot, not just for myself, but for everyone else in my life. And, you know, I've been balancing that act of trying to be there for everyone else, and then also sometimes needing to step back and also receive support this year, because it's been tough. It's been tough mentally, it's been tough emotionally. And I'm really glad to be where we are right now, which is not just at the end of the year, but things are opening up again and we're starting to kind of perceive some lightness for the future. But I'm also like just very, very aware and needing to always function from that awareness. And you know, I think life has potentially changed for the foreseeable future, and that's interesting for sure.
You know, like, thank you for sharing that, because one of the things that even something that I've really been looking at is how, for the first time probably in so very many years, there's a large population of people who are even acknowledging their bodies. They're acknowledging that, hey, there's something up. And there are people who are acknowledging mental health and people who are acknowledging wellness. And that comes from such a space of vulnerability. And what I've seen is most people lack the information of, hey, you know what, there can be an easier possibility available. There can be an easier way to live. And I guess this is where I'd love for you to talk about your expertise with bodies. Like, I know it's been like 10, 12 years with body whispering. And before that, you're also a chiropractor, worked with so very many bodies. Can you speak about, like, what is it, like, how important is, like, really including and working with your bodies, and what does that practically really mean?
Yeah, well, one of the greatest, if I turn that question around, one of the greatest problems that occurs is when we are disconnected from our bodies. And what we're seeing right now, as you've mentioned, is people starting to realize that they've been really disconnected. And unfortunately, what I'm seeing is, because of everything that's happened and kind of all of the things that have been imposed on us that are related to our bodies, that has continued. Like, that disconnection has actually gotten greater for many people. Conversely, for some of us though, and this is why there is, you know, always a silver lining or a blessing in everything. Conversely, for others, it's been the wake-up call. It's been the wake-up call to realize that they're missing connection with their bodies, that when their mental health started suffering or their body started feeling really terrible, they started to realize what we call, like, that they are a holistic or a whole being, and you can't just pick and choose. And what I love about body whispering is it has always been, and it will always be, about all three levels of mind, body, and spirit, or mind, body, and energy. And they're three very distinct parts of our experience here. And there are also three parts that were created to work together in harmony. And when you take one and pull it very severely out of balance, whether it's your physical health and well-being, whether you totally disconnect, disregard, and don't realize that you need to nurture and be connected to your physical body, you're going to really struggle and start to experience problems. Or if you totally disconnect or disregard your spiritual needs, your need for connection, your need or your ability to have awareness and recognizing that you are aware and connected to what's going on around you, you will struggle. And lastly, we've been speaking about mental health quite a lot. We're seeing what happens when we think we can just keep going and that our mental health will be able to survive. We're seeing the effects of our mind when it becomes out of balance and it gets influenced too much by one extreme or one polarity, that will also cause severe problems. So on one hand, we've opened up a Pandora's box of, like, the worst the worst point in time ever for our mental, physical, and cognitive health. And on the other hand, people are waking up. People are realizing the need for connection. People are realizing They cannot rely on exterior points of authority or people outside of them telling them what is true for them. And that connection and the need for that connection, first of all, to self, second of all, to spirit or consciousness, God, whatever you want to call it, and then thirdly, to each other. They're starting to realize and recognize how important it is, and maybe all of the places where we had become disconnected or gotten caught up in the rat race of living in this reality and forgetting the importance of that. And so with modalities like body whispering, there is a real need. I've never had so many phone calls from people who I know and don't know, people who, you know, people are actually begging for help. People are actually really struggling and they're looking for help. They're looking for not just relief at a physical level, but they're looking for, how do I actually change this long term? And that's the part I'm excited about, because there's an opportunity in there for us to actually change how we've been functioning and change it long term for the future, for our children, and hopefully to never go back to that level of disconnection and disregard for our bodies again.
Yeah, and for those of you who are watching, it really took a lot out of the team for us to convince Adila to do this class in the month of December, because December is generally a month when it's like a no work month. But then Adila and there's so much that's going to go on with this class. Like there's so many different things that you've added, and there's just so many possibilities that's available with this class. So can you just quickly run us through what's this class, and like, what are the things that, and we begin, like, when do we begin? Like,
we begin tomorrow, so 24 hours from now, depending on where you are in the world, class will be on. If you're in New Zealand and Australia, we're starting in the afternoon on Saturday and going Saturday and Sunday. If you're in Asia, India, we're starting about 10:30 in the morning for India and going through a full day of class Saturday and Sunday. If you're in Europe, you have a nice early start. Okay, we'll be starting at, I believe, 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. CET, but that means you get a really good experience of having a full day of class. The only people that will struggle probably with this time zone is America. But yeah, as Datu's saying, this class was not initially scheduled. We keep December really light because it's crazy this time of year in New Zealand. Everyone's just very, holiday focused. However, the need and the demand was there for the class. The request was there for the class, not just from the team, but from many of our participants. And it's a really special class, actually. We're in a pivot point. We've pivoted so much in our business over the last 2 years anyway, but we're stepping into so much greater from January next year. From January, we actually have our facilitators class happening. We're going to have facilitators of body whispering all over the world by the end of January. We already have classes scheduled in Cairo in January, end of Jan. We've got Europe on the cards. We've got other parts of India, and it's going to be super exciting. So there's a lot of things happening and a lot of growth, and growth often means change. So the changes include, I'll be running less classes myself because we have these amazing new facilitators coming on. If you have been waiting and wanting to do a body whispering class and you were wanting to do it with me, this is perhaps a really good time to choose this class, because I'll have less classes available with myself. And also because it's such a time of celebration, we've added in a lot of bonus gifts that we never normally do. The body whispering classes are such amazing value and priced so amazingly anyway for everything you get in that class. But if you are choosing this one, we're adding in a focus class. So the December focus class, which is on fertility, reproductive organs, sexuality, all of that great stuff. We're going to be doing a 3-hour class on that. live on the 19th of December. You get to attend that for free. You also get 1 month's access to Life Whispering Club, which will include 2 live calls with me in December. So if you're thinking, I'd really like to create some change in my life, I'm really ready for the next step, or my body would really like some of this energy, this facilitation, and this healing, you're going to get so many hours, not just the class, but all of those additional gifts. They're all live, interactive sessions with myself. So it's really an amazing time to choose. And also for anyone.
Yeah, I mean,
anyone that,
reminder that, that this is probably the last time that this class is being sold at this price point with you. Like starting January, we're having a different set of pricing. So there's a price advantage as well, which is so cool. And also, Adila, can we take a moment to look at, like, once you attend this class, what is it that you can do with it? Like, can you also like practice this with other people? Can you just take a moment to like really address that?
Yeah, so this is actually a practitioner training class. It is a class where it's 2 whole days. We put so much into those 2 days. It's actually really comprehensive. I'd love you to speak about it from your experience that through, but for me, I've done a lot of modalities. I've attended a lot of classes. Normally, if you attend a 2-day class, especially with no prerequisites, you're kind of learning it for the first time. And that's all you're doing. With body whispering, we have a very specific process. It's called the body whispering process. So you're going to learn that process. And the beauty of it is, when you learn how to do and facilitate or run that process, you can then go away and use it for yourself in your life and with your body. But it's also so comprehensive yet easy that you can also go away and start running sessions on other people. And the second day of the class, we do a lot of talking and training on how to actually start a business using this modality. Because it's so helpful, the results are so miraculous, everyone can do it, believe it or not, because it's such a natural and inviting energy. It's not that you're learning something new and you are going to struggle to integrate it. Rather, it's bringing you back to remembering what it was like to have connection, have your sense of awareness, feel very at home in your body and in your life again, which is very empowering. But it's also very easy and quick, because when you remember something, it's different to learning something for the first time, right? So we're reminding you what it's like to be you in your body and have all of your alignment, congruence, consciousness, and awareness available to you, rather than teaching you something that's very foreign. Then you'll go through the steps of learning, like how we encourage you to run your sessions, how to structure your business, how to start finding clients or sharing this work with your loved ones. And a lot of people go on to start really successful businesses through the body whispering modality that we teach. So this is a certified class. You will get a certificate saying you've attended it. You'll get a certificate saying you can run sessions on people in person or via distance after attending this class. And for those of you that have already done this class, just a reminder that you can do it again at the repeat price. And the reason you'd want to do it again is you will have then met the prerequisites to attend our certified practitioners class, which is the next step in advancing your career or getting to advanced healing strategies and facilitation work with body whispering.
Absolutely. And like I always share this experience of mine about how it was like the first time I met Adila and the first time I decided that I'm in a class. It's probably 15 minutes into the class when I realized that I was in the class, because it was such a natural, the next thing to kind of really go to and think. And since then, it's been a phenomenal experience of change, and I've received so much with the body of work that body whispering is. And yeah, I mean, it's something that Adila says, which I totally resonate with, is, like there are no prerequisites to this class and the universe really decides. So if you get a ping that this is for you, like thinking will just kind of really stop this for you, in the sense it's just going to make it more long term, if you get a sense that, hey, this is where you've got to be, just follow that whisper, because the universe is always whispering to you, your body is whispering to you. And in the class, you, for the first time, probably receive how to communicate with your body, which is, wow. I mean, you know, like before the introduction of the system of work, it was very like, it's very mechanical, that I'm supposed to do this, I've got to do this, and this is supposed to be done. But when you are introduced to this way of communication and really like working in tandem with your body, there's a sense of space, there's a sense of ease, there's a sense of, there's such a sense of possibilities that really exists, and you can really, it's a very different space. So I mean, like, I don't have words at the moment. If you get a sense that this is something for you, end of the year, this is phenomenal. I've known Adila and I've been working with her for the last very many years now, but I've never seen a class that comes with so many other things, like basically so much more time that you can really spend with all of us and really interact. So if you do have any questions, and if you'd want to kind of register, we start in less than 12 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, 12. No, 20.
About 18 hours.
About 18 hours, we begin our class. So if you have any other thing that you'd like more clarity with, you can get in touch with one of us, and we have a fantastic team, and they can help you really get to class tomorrow.
Yeah, it's such an exciting time for Life Whispering Institute and Body Whispering. And just to reiterate as well, your certifications are through our institute, which is not only going through exciting growth. We're about to share with you all our new like resort style premises in New Zealand and our plans for growth all over the world. But what it does is it means that you know that this is a qualification that's really going to be able to keep on giving you ongoing support. And that's what I love about Body Whispering is after you attend the class, you get to join our practitioner support group. You have a WhatsApp group, we have a Facebook group, we have ongoing practitioner meetings. You're able to connect and swap with the other Body Whispering practitioners around the world. This is at all levels. This is after you do that very first class, because that's one of the reasons many people choose Body Whispering is they're looking for that connection and they're looking for their family. And a lot of people refer to Body Whispering as their family. And I just want to let you all know that if you've been thinking about joining us, if you've been waiting to join us, please take this as my personal invitation to do so at this time. And if there is something that's getting in the way, or a question or a concern or something we can help you with, please reach out to the team and we'll do our best to help you get to this class that starts tomorrow. So yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for a wonderful conversation, Batu, and I can't wait to start class tomorrow.
Yay, me too. Thank you, Adila, and thank you everyone watching. We'll see you tomorrow in class.
See you tomorrow. Take care.